In the world of My Hero Academia, inspiration is a double-edged sword. At first, though, it's a blessing. We're introduced to the world of heroes and villains through the eyes of young Izuku, Deku, Midoriya, and it's a rose-colored one. Deku meets his idol, All Might, in a flurry of cherry blossoms, gleaming sunlight, and a rush of adrenaline. From there he enrolls in the school of his dreams, studies under the tutelage of his hero, and slowly gains control of his overwhelming powers. He weathers regular class activities and his own childhood rival, and even with the disruption of his upcoming nemesis Tomura Shigaraki, and he still manages to battle his way out of things. From the comfort of UA, the presence of evil seems small, insignificant, and irregular. The beginning of My Hero Academia lures us into a state of comfort, but the activity of hero killer Stain in the show's second season kicks us out of that dream and makes us confront with the reality of justice and heroism in society. Not only does Stain have an intimate connection with one of the main characters, IIDA Tenya, but he's also the first villain to have a tragic backstory, compelling ideas, and worst of all, determination that paralyzes even the most formidable of heroes. He is a ticking time bomb that quickly turns into one of the most intense fights in the series. Luckily, with great amounts of skill, as well, they win. Stain's exit from My Hero Academia's spotlight may feel uplifting for Midoriya and the others, but it's a short-lived celebration as they come to realize that inspiration, a power held by both villains and heroes, is a power no one can truly control on their own. Just as All Might's powerful smile and triumphant actions stir the crowd and empower the young and bold, Stain's actions, coupled with his tragic backstory, seep into the minds of those who have felt wronged by society in any given way. To an extent, this is predictable. All Might is a hero, and his actions of justice and empathy are bold enough to reach the right crowd. Stain's actions, on the other hand, are of cold-blooded murder and vengeance. He makes the news not to inspire, but to strike fear into every hero's heart and to remind the public of the skewed perspectives of a justice that rewards merit. But just like the fight between Stain, Midoriya, Todoroki, and IIDA is unpredictable, the aftermath is also deceptive. It portrays much of the limited, rose-colored perspective on the world we've been shown through Midoriya and My Hero Academia to this point, and it's this portrayal that sets the stage for Season 3. How so? It's a portrayal to everyone who didn't see it coming, in this case, everyone who stood with Stain. It's a portrayal to IIDA, who once upheld his own views of justice to the point of teetering dangerously close to the same kind of blind vigilante ideology Stain espoused. It's a portrayal to Midoriya and Todoroki, whose concept of what they must face in the future has dramatically changed. But it's a portrayal to Stain above all. With the utmost of irony, we see his ideology twisted for other people's benefit, whether it be the media, the audience seeking juicy news, or the numerous young and old now bent on carrying out a mission to change the world in their own image. Here, inspiration is a curse. Why is this so important, and how does it challenge the existing framework My Hero Academia has set up for itself? Up until now, the only inspirational figures we had seen were All Might, the teachers at UA, and Deku's classmates in 1A. That world was one closed behind doors, in the safety of school, where everyone was treated fairly and all worked toward a common goal. Yes, the presence of Tomura Shigaraki is one of destabilization, and his attack in the first season showed him capable of both intelligence and malevolence in his actions. But even then, we could always just state that Shigaraki was a villain, a man with no moral compass bent on creating havoc and destruction. Stain is different for a couple of reasons. First, he's more of an anti-hero than a straightforward villain. While his intent may have been once purposeful, he's willing to have the ends justify the means, which puts him on a fine line between good and evil, what we call vigilante justice. This makes him a problem to deal with on both sides. No one can control his actions, and thus, by not aligning himself with any particular crowd, Stain is completely unpredictable. Second, he, unlike Shigaraki, upholds his own internal moral compass. By going out of his way to save Midoriya, Stain proves that he's hell-bent on committing to the very end. His dedication is powerful but honorable, in a truly twisted way. And last but not least, Stain is a very important example of how inspiration can fail. It can be a torch, as it was when All Might passed his powers on to Midoriya, but it can also be a bomb that backfires and turns us into our own worst demons, regardless of what the intent was. You can stop a person, but their ideals can live on, persist, transform. It's the blood that keeps heroes and villains alive. What's invisible to the eye may be what matters the most. It's a cruel lesson for Midoriya and the others as they must plow forward, now increasingly aware of not only the evils that persist in the world, but also of how their actions reflect on themselves, the people around them, and most importantly of all, the society that keeps their eyes peeled on every move they make. Blank underscore blank underscore blank. When not finding ways to doom all her ships, Natasha can often be found on her Twitter as @Legends, or writing more about anime on the blog. Isn't it electrifying? Feel free to swing by and say hi.